Welcome back to InsideX episode number 4. We're just moving right along here, and the season is getting close. I know there's been some lockdowns in certain areas, certain provinces, but I still see people out riding, which is awesome because we know in Ontario, golf courses are open. That means dirt bike tracks are open too. It's a self-distancing sport, so we're all pumped on that. This week's episode, we got the Arma Rewind back again, and we got Galdi in here. He's going to break down Kamloops 2002, so almost 20 years ago for that one. And it's bittersweet for me because we were supposed to go to Kamloops last year for the Triple Crown, and obviously COVID happened. So this one, at least I get to see what the track's like, and especially back then when the 4 strokes are coming in, the 2 strokes are kind of getting pushed aside. So we'll get to check out those guys and check out the West Coast because last week we got that East Coast of Blackstock. So keep an eye on that. But the interview today, we got a good one this week. The interview with Sam Gaynor and Steve Sims, the new Gas team there. And it's going to be cool because Sam Gaynor, just going back to the 250, he started his career on the 450, and now he's back to the 250. So he gets to ride against the guys he grew up with, the Tanner Ward, the Marco Canella. So we get to catch up with him, talk about the snowcross scene that he was in, and just how the new bikes are fitting him. Today on the Roodz Garage, I'm going to go check that out again. And we're going to get to a rolling chassis. We know he's got the suspension on. He's working on the clamps. He's got those wheels put together. So things are coming together. We're going to be riding this thing soon enough. And I know we have a 2-week break after this, so I'm sure we'll be hammering away. And then we'll be out of the track, riding that 2-stroke and feeling it out. Today's social media brought to you by KTM. And lots of good stuff coming out. Some new signings and some new videos of riders getting on their new bikes, and plus a big giveaway. So stay tuned for that. You're going to have a nice little giveaway, so you guys can follow along and jump on that social media. But make sure, kids at home, this 2-week break here for InsideX. InsideX on Fox is the hashtag. We want to see where you amateur kids are riding and check you out and go to your hometown and kind of see what's all about where you're riding. But this is going to be a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more InsideX. InsideX episode 4. I got myself, Kyle Thompson, Ryan Gauld here. We're going to break down some more racing and talk about what's coming up. And as of right now, we know we were supposed to have a date to talk about the Triple Crown, but that's kind of got pushed back, which is all right. You're going racing soon with the ammo, so
yeah, we're about 10 days out, I guess it is, from our first race here, and I'm excited. Lots of guys have been out riding. I've been out with my kids, and it's exciting time. I'm getting a little nervous, to be honest with you. The growth right now and the amount of people excited about going. Sure hope I don't let them down. I'm jacked now. I'm pretty positive. I got great staff. We're starting off at Gopher Dunes. The only thing that can wreck you there is if you suck sand in your bike. Yeah. Because it can rain, it can snow, it can do whatever. And we've done our homework with all the regions and the townships. We're good to go, man. 10 days away. I'm really happy.
Yeah, exciting news. And yeah, like we said, we got a couple week break after this for InsideX. So then when we come back with that break, we'll know some more stuff about the Triple Crown. But right now, everything seems like it's going along, and the West is going to go, which we need to get to the West. And we know how important it is for the sport.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously it is a national series, and we need to go national to basically keep the title. Obviously last year was just it is what it was because of the difficultness, but we still pulled it off, and that is the good thing. The hard work went in, and we still pulled it off. We had a great series. We crowned champions, and they earned the right to be called champions. There is no asterisk beside it or anything like that. And this year, still a few difficulties, but yeah, right now things are moving well. Things are opening up, and it's every province kind of has their own sort of look at it, like we've talked about. But it seems like it's just time. It's time to let us go, let us drop the gate, and crown a new Triple Crown rider right there. And could Dylan Wright do it again? And we already know we're crowning a new 250 guy, so that's good.
Yep, we're going to have a new 250 guy. Obviously, Marshall Welton won that Triple Crown last year, and Jess Pettis being the moto guy, so there's going to be a new crown for both those, plus the Supercross. And exciting stuff like going to Drumheller and how those things are going to shape up. It's going to be exciting to see these new tracks on the series, Prairie Hill, and I think it'll be cool because we'll go to Drumheller. When we're leaving Drumheller, I think everybody's just going to go right to Prairie Hill, And we're going to see some motos, much like we did at Sandalee last year, where everybody just stayed at Sandalee.
Yeah,
and
100%.
there was a lot of fast riders riding through the week, and we got to see a prequel to what the national.
Well, normally, like years ago, that rule didn't allow it. But last year we changed that, not even due to COVID. We had that rule changed before going into the year because the local track needs to have that infrastructure. They can pull in a couple extra bucks during the week, kind of thing like that. And yeah, it just gives a nice, easier way for that rider that's on the road to go and ride. So yeah, for sure. Right on after the Sunday event there, there's pack up, maybe chill out, have a barbecue, get up Monday and head right over there. It's only probably 10 hours-ish, not even probably to get to the next round. So it's the schedule right now looking good, and the travel side of it is nice and fair and friendly for everybody going from every coast.
Yeah, and speaking about West, Arma Rewind today, we're going to Kamloops, and just popped in my head here. The first one we did 99 Riverglade. You were riding, you were in a contender. The next one you were mechanicing because you were injured, so you went from rider, mechanic, and then this round you're just a broadcast guy.
Yeah, and then down the road I become a medic, and then I run the hot dog vendor stand at one point. But at this round here, this was actually the second round of the 2002 series, and the second time that I started my broadcast career, if you will. I was a pit reporter doing the gloves and the backwards hat and Scott glasses, and it was super fun. This round of racing was amazing to watch. There was lots of action to talk about. I actually got to ride it as well. I brought my bike on the trip, and I was doing helmet cam back then, and it was a bit of a teetering, heavying thing like this, but it was an awesome experience and so many memories built from. But yeah, this is where it kind of all started for me.
Yeah, and you can start to see, we'll get into it, but you start to see that transition from all the 2 strokes into the 4 strokes. It's kind of going that way. But one 2-stroke that we've been working on, and we're going to talk to Roodz this morning. He's getting some motor parts in. We're going to start sliding that motor, and we got the suspension, the wheels done. This thing's coming together nicely. So we'll slip over to Roodz Garage later on in the show.
Who gets to take? Is it Roodz gets to ride this first? Can we put our names in a hat?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's fair. That's fair. I mean, he does all the work, but we, randomly win a draw here.
I think knowing Roodz, he'd be happy for one of us to get out there and ride. He'd just be sitting back there, happy and just smiling away at his bike, his pride and joy.
Austin or Isaiah win it. That's not even one of the guys hosts for him doing it. They win it. I think that would make for a good episode.
Yeah, it would be good. But we're going to get to that a little bit later. We're going to jump to a quick commercial. We'll be back with that 2002 Kamloops National.
I will never stop. Would you want me to slow down? Would that make it easier for you? Or would you want the fight? The pour your heart into it kind of fight? Or should I stop working so hard? I know you'd want me to slow down. I know it would make it easier for you. But then the gate drops. I wouldn't be anywhere else. One goal, one vision.
Welcome back to another installment of Arma Rewind from our kind folks over at Arma Sports there, Galdi. Back to 2002. We're getting through these years, and we're going to the West Coast this time. And, we see a little bit of difference. I feel like since 01, there was a little bit of a decline on the talent pool, but there was still a lot of fast Canadians up there. And one thing I noticed right off the hop is the emergence of Doug DeHaan and Marco Dubé on that Diablo Honda.
Yeah, 2002 was the brand new bike, the CRF 450R back in the day there, and the 4-stroke revolution up to this point was all Yamaha. They were the only ones kind of taking the plunge and getting into it with the 250F and the YZ 426, and then I believe right around here is when it became the 400. Anyway, the revolution was taking over. I mean, obviously GSR was still dominant.
Yep.
He was doing the winning, but behind that, the 4-stroke revolution was definitely starting to make waves and really showcasing wow, this is a product that's going to lean over. And, now we're looking at the electric type things of that. And back then it was the way the 4-stroke was, because if you were a fan then, the Honda 650 the Honda XR 650 bike, which is just like this big tank machine that you could never think could become a racing bike, is now, sort of been leaning in it. And this is the year the Honda kick over. And of course, Honda makes amazing machines. You knew it was going to be good. But yeah, DeHaan and Dubé, they've got great starts.
Oh, yeah.
And you can hear Dubé's, you can hear that bike I can still hear it today.
And that's a Canadian company, Hindle Exhaust.
Yeah.
It was big through that era on those 4-strokes when the 250 Yamahas came in. And they carried out a lot of Canadian riders running their product.
Yeah, Hindle born on the street bike side, I think, Canadian Superbike Series, and then got into the motocross world. But at this particular round, it was really cool because it was the first time we've ever been to Kamloops. Didn't really know there was a track there. It was even very amateurish, but they extended it with the big, long straightaways in the sand, and it just got so rough.
Yeah.
And if you watch the show, you can see how rough it is because there's guys crashing everywhere.
Yeah.
Hagseth crashes, Morgan crashes. In practice, Darcy Lange, the week before, he goes 1-1, total control of the series, goes in the area where they show the red flag where JSR is. He tries to triple in just because. I don't know, he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Crashes, breaks a bone in his back, out for the rest of the series. So the number 3 bike, not even shown in his here, and he had a stranglehold. It looked like maybe this was the year that Darcy was going to win that title, and unfortunately it took him out in practice, kind of doing something silly.
Yeah, that's one thing we want to talk about because we seen Lang in the '99 get his first win, and then he was strong at Blackstock when we went back to there. But he never did win a championship in the 250, 450 class. What do you call it?
He never won the 125 class.
He never won. So
No.
he never. That's crazy.
The only thing he won was like a Montreal Supercross win, as far as on the Canadian sort of championship or a big race win kind of thing. Yeah, he could just never put that full series together, and it's funny he's saying that because he's a multi-time Arena Cross champion, which is a series that stretches over 40 some odd races when he was doing it.
Yeah.
So, and then of course he almost won the 2007 Supercross series, for Mitch Payton. So it's just funny, the Canadian thing, outdoor racing just never was his cup of tea, even though that's where we're all born and bred is in the outdoor stuff. But on this day here, he threw himself right out of the series with one little jump.
Yeah, one little mistake there. But JSR actually went on, and we talked about it before the show. He actually got docked a couple spots on a yellow flag incident that you'll see. And
it was the dish rag, the yellow dish rag.
Yellow dish rag. Small flag.
Like this big right here. So I don't know. Maybe JSR's vision wasn't 2020 back in 2002.
Going through that, obviously he was coming off that number 1 plate, and he was the guy. And then we seen Factory Phil. We had Filthy Phil up here in Canada, but back then we had Factory Phil and a tall guy and riding Yamaha as well.
Yeah, it was very cool back then. Jeff Sirwell, who was the guy that kind of ran No Fear in the U.S., and Phil Lawrence was kind of at the tail end of his career, and he was just looking for something fun to do. And my boss at Machine Racing and Jeff Sirwell, buddies, they hooked together, and Phil's like, yeah, I'll go to Canada. Sure, let's go to Canada. And sure enough, Phil Lawrence, kind of a very big name, but grew up in the McGrath era, won Supercrosses, and was known for the guy that used to wear Scott goggles and leave the sticker hanging off his helmet, blowing in the tag, blowing in the wind. And Factory Phil, that was the name. So, and then on this day here, he would go 13-1, getting second in the second moto with the JSR docking of 2 spots. So a 13-1, that was his best actually race of the whole series. He really didn't turn many heads, but he was fun.
Yeah.
He was fun to talk to and laugh to and stuff like that. And but still that American, there's a lot of Americans. If you look down in the little bike class, Tucker Hibbert.
We
referred to our last show at Blackstock about Blair Morgan being the snowcross guy. Well, right at this time, Tucker was starting to move in and take over the role of Blair Morgan as the Supercross or snowcross hero. And all of a sudden he comes out here and I think he went something like 9-1 on that day.
He crashed in that first.
He crashed in the first moto. So that was his first win on Canadian soil. And after that, Tucker became quite good at the motocross side of things, snowcross.
And the snowcross, So he kind of took over for Blair Morgan. They battled a bit in the snowcross, and then he took over. But he came up to Canada. He liked racing in Canada, which is cool. But another guy I want to bring up, and I just found this out before we were recording this, is Jeremy. Is it Jeremy Israel?
Jeremy Israel.
Paid for his ride on Blackfoot. I never knew that until today.
Yeah, from Chile. I think that's where he was from, Chile. I hope I don't get that wrong. But yeah, he just was, I believe they kind of were a wealthy family and looking for something to do. And the Blackfoot guys, they did Supercross that year with them as well. And he kind of just sort of infused some money instead of going out and buying bikes and traveling and just said, hey, why don't you take our budget and take my guy? And I didn't get to know Jeremy that well, but man, he was hilarious from the stories, and he made Blair and JSR laugh uncontrollably. And there was a bit of tension under that tent the whole year of 2002 because JSR and Blair were like this the whole time. And I guess Jeremiah was just good in there to kind of make them giggle about it sometimes.
Yeah, and they were Blair and JSR were on the 2-stroke, and Jeremy was on the 4-stroke, so it had that dynamic. And also you see in this Mez, your boy Mez, and Dahan battling it out the 2-stroke, 4-stroke there too.
Those guys cross paths so many times, and their numbers are always close. Yeah, for sure. It was cool to see the Ontario guys going at it. Again, hey, buddy, grab the gas in the whoops. Get him in the whoops.
No, talk about whoops. You take a look at that. Those whoops were nasty.
30 plus 2, 4 motos on that day. Oh my God, doing a whoop section. Could you imagine doing 430s nowadays with Supercross? They weren't quite Supercross whoops, but
they were
just
something.
Every time you come up to the section, like, oh God, here we go again. You take a big breath, but lots of action, lots of crashes.
Yeah, and the clip of you and or you're doing your broadcasting and you're showing the whoops and you're talking about the lanes. That must have been from the Saturday qualifying. It looked different on the race, the actual Sunday.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we would have did that. It would have been maybe after practice, but yeah, it was a little more beat up. Maybe towards the end of the day I did that one, but it was full just a rut, like pick a rut, and then you see a lot of guys that start dancing, losing the back end, and just the next time they crash or go over the bars, whatever it is, but. Interesting to have a whoop section on a track like that for sure.
Man.
It was crazy.
Especially when you have your moto set up.
It was like whoops everywhere too. It was just bomb holes and everything. You see, there's so many crashes on that.
We don't have enough kickers and bomb holes. We're going to set a 30 pack of whoops here to really mess with the guys. But that's Kamloops 2002, and it was cool to see that you, a young Galdi, behind the mic there and getting interviews with John Nelson and everybody else. The trackside,
it's fun.
That was very cool, but that was out west, and also Dusty Klatt, got to see him, and Colton Fasciotti. He had a little crash there. We seen him, and that would have been one of his first pro races.
That was his second pro race of his career. Yep.
So that was cool to see those guys, and obviously we're going to see both those take off, Klatt and Fasciotti take off here in the coming episodes of Arma Rewind. But that's it for this episode, and that was Kamloops 2002. You can catch all these episodes on InsideXTV.com, and we'll put those up there, and it's a YouTube link to this guy's site. So it's very cool to see all those races, and we'll catch more of them as we go along. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Welcome back to another social media check-in this week, brought to you by KTM. And you see those boys, CT and Jess Pettis, those guys ripping up those 450s. It's going to be cool to see Jess Pettis on that 450 this year. Obviously, he's still healing up from that knee injury in Supercross. But this week's social media, we're going to start it off with Team Kawasaki and Daniel Sinai out there in California doing some testing. It's cool to see them. I know they kind of softly announced that he's going to be on the team, but it's cool to see him actually on the bikes riding. Go check him out on his social media and see what they've been up to. But those guys all testing out in California, very interesting strategy. A lot of hard pack tracks out there, and we know got a lot of soft tracks up here in Canada. So interesting strategy for those Cowie boys. Another guy out there riding, Quinn Amiot. He's on that Yamaha. We know he announced that a week ago that he was going to be on the Yamaha Manluck team, but now we get to see some riding, and wow, he is comfy already. He said he was riding the Honda a bunch till he got this new Yamaha, and man, he looks comfy already on this YZ250F. He's on the Blue Crew, and we're excited for that team to be back, obviously taking a year off, and we'll talk more about these teams as we go along. We're going to have that break, like I said, in the program, and when we come back, we're going to have a lot of team previews, and there's 10 or 11 teams, and Galdi and I will break those teams down and tell you who we expect to be up there and battling out. But another kind of privateer effort team, Tyler Medaglia announcing he's going to be with Gas with Cobequid Motorsports out there in the Atlantic region. But it sounds like he's going to be signed up for some Triple Crown races, some pro motocross in the States, some GNCCs. The guy just loves riding dirt bikes. I think he won't even take a weekend off. I'm sure he'll just run every weekend some race. But it's funny to see because his son Talon already on that Gas team. He's following his son Talon into that group there, and obviously Mitch Cook, his brother-in-law. So cool to see those guys and putting out an effort. And I'm excited to see the number 5 on a red machine of the Gas. So that'll be fun come the Triple Crown season. One thing to look out for, I mentioned it in the intro, is a giveaway. Cole Thompson and Cardo System, as well as Parts Canada, have teamed up to give out a Cardo System to somebody out there. So go to Cole Thompson's Instagram page, follow the directions that he puts out there, and you could win yourself a Cardo System. And man, I'm telling you, we've been testing with this. We're going to bring you guys some segments soon, but these Cardo Systems are pretty unreal. Throw the pit board away, get the headset on, mom and dad, and let's go. We can really show these young kids, and tell them as it is live interaction with your son or daughter on the track. So very cool stuff. So that's Cole Thompson on Instagram, and him, Cardo, Parts Canada, teamed up for that giveaway, and that's some cool stuff there. Another cool announcement that just came out this week, and it is the mini bike Triple Crown. So just like it sounds, it's a mini bike Triple Crown. We know the Triple Crown's arena cross, motocross, and supercross. Well, we're going to pile that into a pit bike national, and it's going to be at Shady Oaks in Brigden, Ontario, so home ground for us here. And it's going to be a tighter arena cross track, so about 20-second lap times, maybe get a little bit more laps in there, maybe a 20-lap main or something. And then you're going to move to a motocross track, more open, probably a minute and 20 lap time for the pit bike. And then we're going to do a supercross when we know supercross around like 40-second lap times. And it's going to be 3 main events. And this is all going to be brought to you by Flow Racing. And these guys are going to live broadcast the whole day. Well, at least the main event. It's going to be a 3-hour window, pretty much an hour every discipline. So, man, keep up on our social. I know there was an email blast went out this week from Jetworks, and those guys just keep on pumping out the content. If you're into pit bikes and it's a big swing, a lot of people are getting into it, and it's coming back. Like, I know when I grew up, it was huge, and then it kind of faded away, but now you got guys like Villapoto and Carson Brown and other guys like that are getting back into it. And now up here in Canada, first time ever, we're going to have pit bike racing live broadcast, and it's going to come to you from Flow Racing there. But and that's with all the racing across Canada this year. It's going to be Parts Canada Amateur Open is going to be broadcast. Walton Transcan for the first time is going to be broadcast. That's not just a pro, that's the amateur. And then as well as the premix and the WMX, pretty cool setup, and as well as some post shows on Fox Sports of the WMX. So lots of content coming out of the Triple Crown series and that mini bike Triple Crown. Go check it out on the Triple Crown site, and as well as their Instagram and Facebook. You can get all the details there, and lots of cool stuff. But like I said earlier, we're on a 2-week break after this show, and I want everybody at home, social media. I want amateur riders. We need some amateur riders for our show, for our social media. And I know there's a bunch. Your KTM Husky Gas rep sent me a laundry list of you guys out there. So I need to start seeing what you guys have been up to, spring riding, all these tracks opening up. And I need to see what it's all about, because we love to see the amateur scene, because that is our next Tanner Ward, Marco Cannella, Jess Pettis. And we need to find them before too late, before they're pro. We need to see what they're all about. So make sure you use the hashtag InsideX on Fox, and we'll grab that up. We'll grab that content. It could be on TikTok. It could be on Twitter. You could just talk about what you're doing. It could be on Instagram, Facebook, and even parents out there capturing some videos, some photos. You get those things posted for your kids, and they'll be on the Fox Sports show here with us. And anyways, that is it for the KTM social media check-in. Now we're going to head over to Roodz Garage. We're going to check in on him and see what Paul Rudy's has been up to with that YZ250. But stay tuned. We're going to head over there now.
Hey guys, pumped to have you back in the garage. This is an exciting time for this bike. We have a lot of our parts back, so we can start assembling it so it starts to look like a real dirt bike. We got these really beautiful clamps from Ride Engineering. These things are going to set this bike off. We got a bunch of stuff from Ride Engineering. We have calipers, brake lines, and all these things put together. The black anodized finish really going to make this bike look good. It's nice these triple clamps come with the bearings on them. Unless you got the right tools, these things aren't the easiest things to put on. Because we have the white and pink thing going on with this bike because it's the 1991 look we're going for. So to throw on any other color isn't really going to work out, but we still want to set it off, so black is our go-to. Yeah, for sure. I looked for parts too, and for a bike that's been around for so long and stood the test of time, you'd think there'd be more, like we're talking about triple clamps, you'd think there'd be more triple clamps out for this thing, but no, these guys have it dialed in, and they have the market, and we're going to use them. The two strokes, man, I just want it. The first kick, she fires up after all the work we've done and just barks at us. You don't want to get this, you got that for me? Thanks, man. You don't want to get this thing too tight, or else you're going to have some resistance here. But once you put the forks on, a little bit of more weight helps out with that too.
The old two strokes, you got the clutch, the kill switch, the throttle, and the brake line. You're good to go.
That is one of the best things about them, other than the fact that it's a two-stroke and it's just nostalgic as motocross gets. Yeah. They're easy to work on. They're so easy to work on. Yep. Beautiful parts, Works Connection. They supplied us with everything they had available for this bike.
Yeah, Ryan over there, man, my brother used to ride for him back in the day when we were privateers. I think he still runs some of his product on the KTMs, but man, just like right away remembered me. This was back in 2013 I talked to him, and he's more than willing to, you know, set it up and work with us. Obviously, they're part of the Parts Unlimited family, and works good.
We got this beautiful kit designed specifically for this bike from Spec Bolt. They got everything dialed in for us. So we're gonna grab the ones for the triple clamps.
Oof. I think this one is definitely one. Yeah, these are the lengths.
When you're putting in a bolt, you know what the best way to tell is when you're putting in a bolt, just seat it to the first thread. That's out like 3/4 of an inch. That's too much. If it's out like a 1/4 inch or so, you're good. You got to catch those threads. I'm happy with that. So it's gonna be the shorter ones out of this time.
Yeah.
And these packs are specific with the amount, so we should have 8.
Yep. I got 3 over here.
Okay.
See, you know what? People helping people here, Roodz.
That's right.
You know?
So you got, how many got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, they gave us the exact amount. Perfect.
I got 3. There's one more in here.
One more?
Yeah.
Hey, let's both slide them in, man. Let's get these things on there.
Oh, Stevie's got the old specs on there.
Yeah, he's good with the label.
I like that. I always like reading those things.
We'll just make sure to put that label out.
Yeah. And then you can
Just give
reference
them just give them a twist. Sometimes these are stiff to get in. Yeah, sometimes these forks are a little sticky going in, so just screwdriver, just give it a little bit of spread at the top. Okay, I'm gonna set these things basically right at the cap because I need as much height as I can get. All right. Okay, so cool little trick here. To keep your fork seals from failing over time and weeping oil, it's a good idea to let the pressure out of your forks. There's a couple little screw caps in here, flathead screwdriver, and you're gonna wanna loosen these off, and you're always gonna hear a little bit of pressure come out of these. Alternative, Motion Pro, got these from Parts Canada, bleeders. You take these right out, you put these in, and when you're done for the day, you just depress on the top there, bleeds the air out of the fork. Super easy,
One thing I know
inexpensive.
for a fact, though, is you got to make sure it's on a stand because you don't want the forks compressed.
That's right.
So, yeah, those are the things I need growing up because I wouldn't be looking across the floor for some bleeders.
You know, it would have been nice if they had these growing up.
Yeah, I know. Roodz, I see you got this stuff back from Andrew.
Yep.
Man, I like this because this is like we talked about. This is what we grew up on. Is the Renthals with the color, and then so I like that.
Yep.
That looks
We
sweet,
we always went with the color pattern that our favorite rider had. So yeah, Andrew Kelch, Lambton Dipping and Coating, painted these up perfectly, powdered these just to model that old 7/8 bar look.
Yes.
But we're not going to run 7/8
No, we don't need that.
In 2021, we're running the inch and an eighth twin walls. These are my favorite. I like the crossbar. I'm a crossbar guy. So,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we'll put these on our ride triple clamps, see how these look. This is the fun stuff, man. This is the fun stuff.
I like the looks of that. Renthal bars. You throw in Renthal grips, obviously.
We are so, yeah.
Yes.
Renthal is my company. I love Renthal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think like it's just like a lot of things. You stick to a brand. You kind of get it at a young age, and you just stick to a brand.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. You got your brand, it works for you. Run it. Yeah, we're not going to torque these down just yet. We're just going to get them.
Yeah.
We're not even snug. We're just going to get them set. And then we're going to position these things where you want them, where I want them, whatever. Individual preference.
See, I've never used those, how they have the 4 bolts per side, but I can see that I have issues with sometimes if you over jump something, the bars roll back. So I feel like those double pinch like must be better.
So we're going to put the shock in this bike. So you can see we got the color match still with the 91 theme going on. Same with the Renthal bars. Our guy at Lambton Dipping and Coatings did this for us. Steve set this thing up specific to my weight, my riding style. We're gonna put this thing in the bike. Almost got our roller done here. So we've got our Renthal twin ring, Excel A60 wheel, Dunlop MX52 tire, and we've got some nice Works Connection axle blocks here. The cool thing about these is that they're gonna allow us, they've got this point right here, and they're gonna allow us to adjust our chain with a micrometer. So we're pretty excited about our progress on our YZ250. We have our roller now. All we have to do is put the engine in this thing, our plastic, and the best part, we're going to put those graphics on and make this thing look like a dirt bike.
Welcome back to InsideX. Joining me today, the newly formed TLD Gas SSR Racing Team. We got the team manager and the rider, the 250 rider, Sam Gaynor, team manager, Steve Sims. Boys, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm going to start with you, Steve. You know, coming the off season, obviously you had to let the people know that you weren't going to have the Yamaha team. You've managed it for years. And then coming in, we're right off the hop. Were you thinking of, you know, starting a new team, or was it just like, hey, you know what, it was a good run and we're going to call it quits? How'd that all come about, this gas deal?
Yeah, no, I mean, the news came pretty quickly. I can't say I didn't totally see it, but it definitely came pretty quick when it came. So, you know, everybody involved had worked really hard over the years to get the team where it was, and I was part of that for a while. So I just wasn't willing just to let it all go basically to the wayside. So I kind of put my head down, started making phone calls pretty quickly, and, you know, talked to a couple different manufacturers at the time and just try and see what could be done, and kind of just kept pushing until I found something. So
yeah,
you know,
and
kind of where it's at today.
Obviously, we know that Gas, new brand in Canada, but was there conversations with Yamaha? Because we know MX101 has that Yamaha team now. They kind of stepped in that role. Was there conversations maybe take over where Andre left off with the OTSF?
I definitely reached out to Yamaha. I mean, my background has been Yamaha for a lot of years, so I'm comfortable with them. We have a good platform and everything with them, so that was kind of my first reach out, but it didn't seem like it was going to go anywhere very quickly, and Kevin obviously was the first right there to it. You know, I understand that. He's been around with us for years, and he's put a lot of effort into it, so I could understand why, you know, it would all go to him. So that was, to me, pretty quickly in my head was out. And then I reached out to some of the other ones and kind of touched base with some of them to see where we could go. So,
and it's cool because, I mean, a new team always makes a splash, but when you got a new brand and all the things that you guys are doing, you're doing it right. And obviously when the gas came around, we got Sam over here. Like everybody had to know Steve Sims and Sam Gaynor. You guys have a relationship for a little while with the racing. You guys, even we were talking before the show, you used to get plastic from him, parts and stuff like that. And it grew into where Sam got to that intermediate level and you kind of took him under your wing. So Sam, the new gas, you're going to be debuting it this year. A little nervous. You're in the 250 class. What are you thinking?
Definitely excited more than anything. It's kind of a breath of fresh air for myself and for Steve and just everyone. I've been on Yamaha since 2012, so for me it's just something completely new. This past winter I got to race snow bikes, so that was exciting on the new bike, and then I think I'm more excited than anything. Obviously a little bit nervous as I've always raced the 450 class, but I feel like I've still got a lot to prove. I'm only 20 years old, so I'm pretty excited to show everyone what's up in the 250 class.
Yeah, and now, you know, going from having Moff and Nicoletti as your leader is kind of like, you're like, oh, look up to these guys. I can take advice from these guys. Now you're going to lead this team. Is that added pressure, or are you just going to take it and just run with it? What's the deal with that?
A little bit of pressure, but not too much. I mean, I learned a lot from Moff and Nicoletti in the past couple of years. So I wouldn't say it's any more pressure. It's just now I just got to focus just that little bit more. Yeah,
and being like, it's usually like when you're coming into the class, you 250 start, you know, that's most, you know, teenagers going into it. You came in 450, got Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, and kind of like stapled yourself as a big bike class. So coming back down there, you got to have a little bit of confidence, you know, riding against those guys, Nicoletti and the Wrights and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited to see what I've got personally and also show everyone else what I've got. I feel like the bike's really solid so far this year and the little bit amount of testing we've done. So yeah, I'm just really excited to get the season underway and get racing.
Yeah, it's you had not too long away. We're a couple months away, and you'll be out there battling. But we know that you guys have a strong pull in the ammo scene too. So you're going to be racing some provincials and battling some of the local talent's always good too. And you even see guys like Dylan Wright battling out there, so that'll be good. Another question I have for you, Steve, is talking about Nicoletti and Moff. When you started this new venture, was it discussions with those guys to see if you could get enough funding to get those guys back on the team?
Yeah, I mean, I've reached out to both of them right from the get-go and kind of trying, the relationship I think was pretty good there with both of them. I talked to Sean, talked to Phil, but year one, there's a lot that needs to go on, needs to be right. So it kind of just didn't work out to where it was. And I believe Sean was talking with KT for quite a while there at MX 101. And Phil and I have bounced back and forth also, but it just wasn't in the cards, and then borders and everything right now is making it hard. So that was kind of out of the question, but you can never know for the next couple of years.
Yeah,
right?
well, it just depends on how this year goes for you guys and new team. And it's crazy how it lines up because the U.S. came out with the team with the Troy Lee designs, and you guys are fitting right in line. So it's got to feel cool, and you got to have some good support from down there.
Yeah, I mean, without Troy Lee, Troy and Max and Cody up in Canada here, without those guys, it probably would never have happened. They were a big support and a push for this gas thing to make it happen here in Canada like the U.S. did.
Yeah, and talking to obviously like the KTM Husky and Gas brand are all together, and it was cool to see. They handed out some things, and the KTM more corporate brand, the Husky more adventure, and then the Gas they like the punk rock, the party thing, and it's kind of cool. It's like a more energetic. They got Bam Bam down south, so. I love the branding that they've done, and with the Troy Lee package, it's going to be awesome, and you guys are going to look the same as them, and it fits in just much like the KTM squad up here and the KTM down there. So very cool. But we talked before the show about Walton Transcan. I know you're a big part of that, and talking before the show, you both have won 3 championships coming in. I know Sam at 50cc and a couple junior championships and a couple of Vet B classes for you. Who's going to get the 4th one this year?
Probably, hopefully me, but
I don't know if I'm racing the Transcan, but I mean, for the
You ought to.
national, I hope it's me.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get you out in that Pro-Am class for the Transcan.
Yeah, that'd be
You can't let the boss man. You can't let the boss man get ahead in the 4.
No.
You know he's getting it.
nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah. So the new bikes, the snowcross scene is what I want to touch on, and you said it's awkward to get used to.
Yeah, it's definitely way different. I mean, the opportunity was brought to me, and I was kind of skeptical at first, but I would say that the transfer onto it wasn't as easy as I was hoping. Like the first time I rode, I was like, holy, what did I get myself into here? But no, it's been a lot of fun, and Steve's been a big help throughout it all. So yeah, I wouldn't say the transfer was the easiest, but I've been having fun, and so far we've only had one race, and it went pretty well. So yeah.
Just keep grinding, and it's a different world, and I've only heard like that transition into it. You see guys like Yannick Boucher who's excelling, but he's had so many years under his belt. Is it something that you're going to pursue in the future, or like going down south would be the best option for you?
For me, I mean, I'd prefer to go down south and get ready for moto, but I mean, if the opportunity was brought to me again to go and race snow bikes, and then maybe if I got better, go to X Games type thing, I would definitely jump onto it. But as everyone knows, snow bike kits are super expensive. So, but yeah, if I'd rather go down south, but if I couldn't, if like COVID was still happening, I would definitely still race snow bikes.
Yeah, it's that X Games thing is cool. I know a lot of Canadians have gone down there and won and top 3, so it'd be such a cool stage just to try at least. But I know, talking to some of your competitors now that you're in the 250 class, like a Tanner Ward or Marco Canella, those guys. Tanner got knee surgery and he stayed back, and Marco couldn't get across the border, so he stayed back. But the riding weather's been still good, so you're not really missing out this year as far as going south and getting ready for the nationals.
Yeah, for sure, and that's kind of what me, Steve, and my dad all talked about when the snow bike thing was brought to us. It was kind of like, well, I'm not going to go down south anyway, so this is just good training, stay on the bike, keep the hands, speed in. Just stuff like that. So I feel like we didn't really lose any riding, and now we just got onto the bike about a week ago. So yeah, I'm pretty excited and excited to just get racing moto.
Yeah, I know that Go for Dune's coming up in a couple weeks here and getting those provincials. But Steve, we know you have a 250 rider. The plan is to have a 450 rider come nationals and get him going.
Yeah, there's definitely plans for a 450 rider. Just kind of working through what the series would be like and try and decide for a 450 rider at that point.
Yeah, and lots of good options out there, but it's obviously we talked about before. It's tough to pull an American. Obviously talking to Nicoletti, he struggles getting across. Plus they got to quarantine for 2 weeks and go on from there. But now going back a little bit to history, like you grew up, obviously you got that 50 title at Walton and stuff like that. What was your first experience on a motorcycle?
My very first experience on a motorcycle was my neighbor 2 doors down. They had a PW50 and they invited me and my dad over to come ride. And it was just in their little backyard. And then I got on the bike and I just held it wide open. No one told me where the brakes or anything was, and I went as fast as I could right into a fence.
The PW brakes are in the hands. You gotta remember that.
Went splat on the fence, ate crap, and then my dad went out and bought me one for Christmas, and we just rode around the fairgrounds for a little while. And then my dad got me a KTM Junior for Christmas when I was 3. And then I rode it for a week and a half, snapped the frame in half, and just went through, I think, 3 or 4 of those.
Been a long period of time that you've been riding and racing. What about you, Steve? You started young?
No, I didn't start till I was in grade 8 when I started riding. So I never had really any mini bikes. My first bike was a 79 Chaparral Enduro 80 that my dad and I grabbed out of a barn and fixed up. And that's kind of what got me going on it. My neighbors all had bikes, Sean Wilson and a couple of the other guys around town. And that was kind of what got me going, and then just kind of built up from big bikes.
And to get into you first started the mechanic side of things with Andre, correct? Is OTSF you were wrenching there?
Yeah, Andre is kind of the team that I stuck with all along. I was there and gone for a few years and then came back. And before that, I kind of helped privateers. I worked with Bill Burr for a long time. He kind of was the one that got me into all the racing side of it all. I helped Joel Sarich, Jay Burke, and those guys, Rob McCullough, team label it with Brad.
Yeah, that was my era. I raced against those boys.
Yeah, you guys were all there. And that's kind of what got me into it, and that led me into basically the team with Andre.
And now the team plus winning championships at Walton. So,
yeah.
But no, that's cool. And now you went from not only team manager, but team manager and team owner. So, man, it's a huge step. And, congrats to you guys for that. I can't wait to see the bikes and to see you race out there. And obviously, Steve, are you going to be on a pit board too? Or are you doing all 3 roles?
No, I'm gonna stay back off the pit board. But I am very well engaged there in every part of it. So. Yeah. But I won't be there.
Is Reese in?
Reese is in.
Reese's in.
I'm excited. I got him signed there about a week ago.
Yeah.
So that was a big part to the puzzle. I didn't think I was going to get him. So that's an exciting part for us.
No, it's cool. And it's cool to see where you two have come from. We joked about before the show, you were like a B rider when you started riding for Steve. And, similar to what Dungy did in the States with Roger DeCoster. And look at those guys. They were very successful. So, hopefully the same success for you guys and up here in Canada. But anyways, that's all the time we have. We're going to jump to a quick commercial. Thank you guys for coming in, and we'll see you at the races very soon. Stay tuned. We'll be back with some more InsideX.
I will never stop. Would you want me to slow down? Would that make it easier for you? Or would you want the fight? The pour your heart into it kind of fight? Or should I stop working so hard? I know you'd want me to slow down. I know it would make it easier for you. But then the gate drops. I wouldn't be anywhere else. One goal, one vision.
And that is it for episode 4, InsideX on Fox, brought to you by Parts Canada. I'm having fun.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm having
It's
fun.
hard to tell. The smile hasn't left your body. I feel like you're seized. You're like the Joker from Batman. Your face just seized with the smile. It's great to see. But I mean, how can you not have fun? We're talking moto. The sun is shining. We're going racing soon. The series is falling into place.
Yep.
Your hair is perfect. I'm going to the gym, apparently. I mean, you keep saying it.
Yeah,
I think it's a lie. Road to Walton.
Yep.
But it is a good time to be alive. InsideX is rocking, and we're again excited to get the gate drops here.
Yeah, no, it's exciting just having another season, being on Fox, and then this is going to carry over the Triple Crown being on Fox. So it's just a nice little meshed package here, and I can't wait to get to Go for Dunes for Ammo Round 1 Provincial, right?
That's the plan. Yeah, OPC and an amateur national qualifier as well for Walton and Go for Dunes. Saturday, small track guys, all my tight kids and 4 to
yeah.
6. It should be fun. And then Sunday, just for the big guys. And kind of a little bit of a new program, sort of testing the waters
Yeah.
with some stuff this year. But it's kind of all like what we did last year with the Triple Crown Series. COVID kind of forced 3-moto formats
Yep.
and this and that. So I'm just kind of taking advantage too, trying to, throwing something up against the wall, see if it sticks, sort of thing. So
Yep.
hopefully it pays off. But I'm super excited. I mean, I love running races and seeing all the new people, and I can't wait to get the new crop going.
I know, and it sounds like every other region's going to be going. I know that last year Atlantic never raced, and they're planning their series. They're getting ready to go. So, and we've got them on the schedule. So we're going to go to Riverglade again, which is awesome. One of my favorite places to go. And then all the way across, we know that BC, they had the Future West going there. So, and everywhere in between. So racing is about to get going, and we're going to have more stuff to talk about. And obviously, we want to cover other racing, like we talked about the Superbike.
Yeah.
See if Zokes can win another championship. I know he's got like 15 in the bag.
Yeah.
And maybe see if he can make it.
Does he need more?
I don't know.
I don't know what that trophy room looks like.
Yeah. Ben Young, he's going to try to regain that championship, those guys, as well as the flat track. I know they didn't race last year, but there's some cool stuff that Walton's going to do with them as well. So we're going to stay tuned for more of those updates. But like I said, OPC or Walton Transquan qualifier at Gopher Dunes coming up.
Yeah,
and
stay
we're
tuned.
taking a 2-week break, and we'll be back with some more InsideX and some more content coming your way. But thank you for tuning in. That's Fox Sports. Join us on Instagram, InsideX, and you can hashtag InsideX on Fox. And we're going to keep using those social media posts. We appreciate everybody that's been doing that. Been a flood of good stuff coming our way, as well as InsideXTV.com. Check us out and see all those old videos of Galdi on the mic and all the other ones. We'll be pumping that content out there for the Arm Out Rewind. But thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.